Hi, I'm Vinny from Hacks for Data Analysis, and this is the hack of the week. In this video, I'll show you how to use Excel's hidden formula to calculate age. What I often see is that when people want to calculate age between two dates, in days, months, or years, it's this. For days, they would say the number of days between two dates is equals the final date minus the start date. And that's correct. Now for the number of months, what I often see is equals the number of days divided by 30. And that's incorrect because in this case, you're assuming that from 23rd April 2012 until 16 May 2018, all the months had 30 days. And that's not true. For the number of years, the same thing. So what I often see is the number of months divided by 12. And that's also not true. Now what I'll do is I'll just resize this formula for the second case below. And I'll show you Excel's hidden formula that will allow you to accurately calculate the age between two dates. I provided you with the link to this file in the description of this video. And if you click on this link, you go to Microsoft's documentation page, and there you can read more details about this formula. Now the question, why is this a hidden formula? I don't have the answer for you. I'm sorry, but but the important thing is that it works. But the reason why we call it hidden formula, it's because if you try to write it, so I'll type equals date diff, and it doesn't show up, but it works. So to calculate the age in days, I'll type equals date diff, open parentheses. I'll select the start date, comma, the end date, comma, quotes, and inside quotes, I have to specify how I want to see this result. I want it days, so I'll type D, close parentheses, hit enter, and you have the correct number of days. Now to calculate the months, you can type equals date diff, open parentheses, select the start date, comma, select the end date, comma, quotes, and I'll write inside quotes M for months. I'll close parentheses and hit enter. Now if you want to calculate the age for years, the same thing. So I'll write equals date diff, open parentheses. I'll click on start date, comma, the end date, comma, quotes. Then inside quotes, I'll write Y for years. I'll close parentheses, hit enter, and then you have it. The three of them are correct with one single formula. Now, what is the catch? The catch is this formula will not work when the result of your age is a negative number. So let me show you. The second case, the start date is August 2019 and the end date January 2019. That means that the end date is older than the start date. So if we try to use this formula the same way we used in the case number 1, this is what we get. Equals date diff, open parentheses, start date, comma, end date, comma, quotes, and D for number of days. Close parentheses, hit enter. Then you see an error. But Excel has a formula which can handle errors. And this formula is called if error. So in the formula, I'll include in the beginning if error. I'll press tab. And now I'll go to the end of my formula. And my formula is the value from the if error statement. So now I'll type comma. And I'll choose what to return in case there's an error. So the logic behind it is if there's an error, that means that the end date is older than the start date. So again, I'll write date diff. I'll open parentheses. But now my start date is the end date. So I'll select end date, comma, start date, comma, quotes. I'll write D and I'll close parentheses. I'll hit yes to correct the parentheses. And here you have 216 days, which is correct. The issue now is that the final number will not indicate if the end date is older than the start date or not. That's because the final number is a positive number. And to fix that, all I'm going to do is, in the formula, I'll multiply my result to -1. So whenever the end date is older than the start date, you have the correct age in days, but with a negative sign. And the file that I'm providing to you in the description of this video, I already have the formula ready for you. So you don't actually have to worry about all of that. You can just download the file for free and copy the formulas. So for number of days, I'll copy this formula and I'll paste it here. I'll press enter. For the number of months, I'll copy this formula and I'll paste it here. And for the number of years, I'll copy this formula and I'll paste it here. Now you have a very accurate way that you can always use to calculate age. Now I want to challenge you to use this hack this week and let me know of the outcome. Write in the comments of this video or let me know of any other solution that you might have to solve the same issue. I hope you liked it and I'll see you next week.